Hello. Welcome back to MJ Gooner podcast right here for the post-match review. Sporting Lisbon 2, Arsenal 2. This is a very interesting game, a very chaotic game, and it's pretty much it's a comedic performance as well. There's not much you can talk about in this game. In a way, but there quite a lot to talk about. How do I feel about this game? It is very sloppy. I think probably one of the sloppiest performances that we have ever put. And it's, in a way, it's quite disappointing. The way how we play was disappointing. But the result wasn't because, again, we are traveling back to the Emirates Stadium next Thursday at 1 p.m. Here in Pacific time. And that was the only positive that we can pretty much talk about. And there are a little bit of positivity here and there, which I will go through. So first of all, I do want to address with the whole, Gabriel Jesus coming back into training. Seems to be full training, full on contact. And there were quite a lot of footages of him, kind of training, chasing for the ball, kind of a little bit, more of an agility movement here and there. And honestly, he looks good, but with what Mikel Arteta said, that if he's not ready for the next, give him a couple more days, a couple more weeks, then he'll be fine. Apparently, there are talks, there are rumors going around that he might be available, or he will be 100% be available by the end of the international break. Again, I think we still have 2 weeks of football left until we are moving on to the international break, which it's going to benefit a lot of some of the players who are not representing the countries, but some of them are certainly going to be playing for the national team. For example, we all know that Thomas Partey has been chosen to play for Ghana for this international break, but the way how Ghana used him, it's quite concerning at times. I feel like they're not being very careful with him, which is something that Thomas Partey and the whole coaching staff has to deal with it. But this game, the starting lineup, honestly, I thought we went stronger than I thought it would be. I wasn't expecting Saliba to be starting. I was expecting Rob Holding to be starting, and Tomiyasu on the right, and Zinchenko back on the left-hand side. But again, you wanna make sure that you don't want to overuse Zinchenko for the next few days. Again, I think he is a very integral part of our team and great leader. Tactically, he worked out very good for us. So the fact that Kieran Tierney is out from an illness, it certainly hurts, because certainly today, KT is certainly going to start regardless of the result, regardless of how the game was going. I thought KT would have started this game. I totally agree with that. I think he should have. I think he should have started this game for sure. But you know what? When he's sick, you don't want to risk him. The fact that we are going back to the Emirates next week. That one's going to be a huge one for KT to kind of make him be part of the squad again. I'm not saying that he is not part of the squad, but of course he wants to get involved. You can see that the last time he started a game was in January. That's 2 months ago. Even though he made, I think, one appearance after that City game. I think it was the Everton game where we beat them 4-0. So I was thinking this would be a great opportunity for him to kind of redeem himself in a lot of ways. The fact that he is most likely going to leave by the end of this, by the start of the next transfer, by the start of this next season, I'm sure he's going to be leaving. But I still want him to play a little bit more, let the fans to see more of him. Again, for the past few years, he has been so important for us, but injuries have kept him out for a substantial amount of time, which we truly miss, because honestly, he's a very talented player, a great leader. At one point, he was, being nominated as the club captain. But again, I think Mikel Arteta or the board have a different idea, different direction. And Eddie has gone. I mean, Eddie is not gone. Eddie is injured. Again, I think a game today would definitely benefit him. I think the way how we play, I thought, if Eddie was playing today, I think he would do well. Trossard is going to be out for, I don't know, a couple of weeks, something with his groin. At least it's not something that is, significant. But certainly right now, it feels like we're having more injury issues right now at a very unlucky timing, because I felt like Trossard would have probably started this game ahead of Martinelli, because I think Martinelli certainly do need a break. The fact that we signed Trossard was to rotate between himself and also Martinelli, and the fact that Trossard is injured, which is going to be quite a problematic in terms of the fitness issue. But we will have to wait and see on Sunday's game. Arsenal have approximately 2 full days to recover from that game. It'll be interesting to see. Is it 2 full days? Yeah, 2 full days to recover from that game. It's pretty much I want to see how they're going to respond. And other than that, the starting 11 was pretty much not what I was expected. Turner in goal, that's what I was expected. Kivior making his debut today. A lot of exciting news from him. Exciting talks about how he is a ball-playing defender, and partnering up with Saliba. I think it's always good, compared to pairing up with Rob Holding. Ben White on the right, Zinchenko on the left, and Jorginho coming back on for the starting 11. Granit Xhaka would be captaining the side. David Vieira as a cam, and then your front three was Nelson, Martinelli, and also Saka. Again, I knew Nelson was going to start this game. I mean, the fact that we were kind of lacking players in that area certainly indicates that. And of course, he scored the winner last time, an assist and also a winner. There's no way you're not going to start him, and Arteta did exactly start him. And I think that was a very good starting 11 in general, giving us a little bit more a competitive option in the field. And we definitely fielded at least 4 youngsters on the bench. Odegaard was sick. I felt like the fact that not having Odegaard in the starting 11 was somehow we're lacking a little bit of stuff. I'm not saying that Fabio Vieira was not good today. I think he did all right, but when you have Martin Odegaard today in a game like this, I think certainly Martin Odegaard would have benefited the team exponentially, I would say. But yeah, let's talk about the game, because we are very sloppy at times. We definitely have the slowest midfield across Europe at the moment, having Jorginho and Xhaka, but both of them are very good in terms of the passing. They dual tackle ability. They're very good at that, but off the ball, when we are getting when we're getting pressed, that is something that we are not very good at it today, because we have been exposed quite a bit of time where Sporting was playing long ball throughout the whole game, and you thought, at least somebody is going to get the end of it. But somehow, the left and also the right, Trincao and also Edwards, they have been very impressive in today's game. I totally forgot that Trincao went to Sporting, I think in the last January transfer window. And yeah, defensively, I think the only problem that we might have throughout the whole game was the fact that having Kivior in the team, again, it was his first competitive start for the club. And of course, there might be a language barrier. Could be a language barrier. I don't know how he has adapted to the English football so far. But I think in general, he looks very calm on the ball. Defensively, I couldn't remember a time where it was, he was a little bit, stiff here and there. I don't see anything like that. I think he did fine today. Of course, it wasn't a performance that we all kind of expected. And we scored the first goal in the, 20th minute or something like that from Saliba. That was a free header. But the controversial thing was going on was Zinchenko was probably or probably would have given a foul in the Premier League context. Was it a foul? I think it might be a foul because I think he was hugging whoever he was marking in front of him and kind of pulled him down. Again, this is a very similar situation with the Leicester City game where Sutar, I think he was, pulling Saka from behind and pull him down. That should have been a penalty, but that play right there would have been I think, to be honest, if I was being fair, of course I'm happy with the goal because taking the first goal lead, something that will build us the momentum. But the fact that scoring the first goal and knowing that Zinchenko would have might have probably fouled a player in front of him, I at one point I thought the play would have been ruled out for a foul, but turns out it was fine. And this is an important moment. Cortez, is it Cortez? I think it's Cortez. The captain for Sporting had picked up a yellow card from that challenge. I'm not sure if Zinchenko did as well. Oh, actually, maybe both of them did have a yellow card. But Cortez, the captain for Sporting, is going to miss out the next game on his trip to Emirates Stadium, which is a huge boost because I think, again, on FIFA, he looks like a very good player. I did use him on my ultimate team here once in a while, but he doesn't has the pace. But certainly a very experienced defender for sure, a very strong, tall defender. And the fact that he's missing one of the best defenders in the club is going to miss out the game, which is going to be huge for Arsenal. I don't know who they have on the bench, or I'm quite unfamiliar with their bench in general, but it is a very good sign that the fact that he is going to be missed out for the next game, which also gives an advantage for Arsenal. But, let's talk about the goal itself. Again, Fabio Vieira has that killer left foot where, wherever he tried to pass, it's really, really good. And that corner kick cross was perfect. Finds Saliba in the head, heads that one in, and we were up 1-0. Just a great game in general. And then, of course, our possession has been great. At least 65% in the first half, pretty much. We controlled the game, but at times we were disappointed. We were upset by the, sloppiness of our passes. I felt like there are times where we could have done so much better with different sets of players. But again, this is what we have to work. That's what we have to work around. Having Nelson in the team again. Nelson did fine today. I don't find him especially special in this game. Did he make an impact? Sure. There were so many times where he kind of dribbled past the right back or anybody in front of him, try to cross it with his left foot. I think he still has that ability as a player. Certainly no doubt for that. But it is going to be, it is, Nelson, again, I think we did talk about, having contract extension. I think he will still be a good squad player. But in terms of his potential, is it going to surpass what we thought he was going to be? I'm not very sure about that, but Nelson can certainly do a job, maybe from the bench, because honestly, if he was on the bench today and came on for the last 20-25 minutes, I think he would have been, again, I think he would have probably made a much bigger impact than what we saw on the pitch today. And later on, there are quite a lot of times where it given me a flashback from 2019-2020 season, 2020-21 season, where we were just trying our best to pass it from the back, and we get caught napping, we get caught in possession, and we were lucky that Sporting couldn't really capitalize our mistake, because honestly, there's so many times, like the fact that I can't even pinpoint any of that, but we get caught in the middle. We were not very good at it today. It's probably one of the worst displays in terms of passing up from the back. And it was quite worrying in this game, but certainly I would not be as worried in the Premier League because, again, I think we were more comfortable in terms of passing from the back in the Premier League. But compared to Europa, it's a different story. Of course, I certainly do not want to lose this game. At the same time, I'm not feeling very tense going into this game. Well, it's not about 3 points, 1 point, or even no points at all. It's all about, for the second leg, the goal tally. Well, the fact that they have removed the away goal, which I found it very silly. I think because the reason why a lot of viewers, a lot of football fans watch the Champions League was the away goal advantage. And there were many times where teams would advance through the away goal advantage. And that would be even more interesting. But the fact that Arsenal scored 2 away goals today and, going into home, again, Sporting is a great club, good team as well, but they can produce a performance like this, if we somehow ended up 1-1 and in the first game we drew 2-2, we would have gone through, and which, make things even more interesting. But that was not the case, unfortunately, so we have to kind of rely on the second leg. Again, this game, I'm not very concerned with the result. I wouldn't be overly disappointed with the result regardless. If we win, we win. If we draw, that's fine because we still have the home game advantage. And if we lost this game by a goal or 2, I'm not completely upset about it. Again, our main focus for this season, this campaign, was to win the Premier League, was to win as many games as possible in the Premier League. And even if we have to get axed in the Europa League, and we became the center of a banter discussion, I'm okay with that because again, that's not the priority right now. Yes, we all thought that we might have a chance to win the Europa League, but based on this reserve team that we were watching, the reserve team today was certainly not good enough to compete in this competition. We certainly do not have the squad quality and squad depth to play or to compete in this competition. So in a way, I think it was a blessing in disguise, the fact that we're not in the Champions League, because I don't think we could handle anything, to be honest, in the Champions League. I felt like it's more competitive. I think our squad was still very, very raw in terms of experience. So I'm not making an excuse, guys, but this is just how I see it. Yes, of course, last season I was disappointed that we missed out, but I think when as time goes by, I start to realize the fact that playing the Europa League will certainly match our our quality. I just have to say this because honestly, if we play in the Champions League, we're not gonna go far either. We might have probably qualified, but definitely end up like Spurs like last night. And later on, conceding a second goal. I mean, conceding the first goal that we had from a corner kick. Great delivery, but poor defending in general. Who to blame? I really don't know. You could possibly point it at Kivior. He didn't jump at all. And apparently, I think I was looking at Twitter. I think there were rumors going around where Matt Turner said me. So I assume he called for the ball, but didn't really get a touch to it. So there might be a miscommunication between the two players, and which is quite worrying at the same time because last season we have been dealing with corner kicks very, very nicely. I think we only conceded 1 corner kick last season against Spurs. But and the fact that we conceded another one today, another corner kick, yes, you can arguably say that we have a different squad today compared to the last game, but the fact that we concede another corner kick was quite worrying at the moment because we have been so good dealing with it last season, and all of a sudden, back-to-back games, we conceded goals through corner kicks. And I'm sure Niko Jovic will certainly have a look at that. We certainly have to practice a little bit more, whether if it was a poor man-to-man marking or poor miscommunication. I think the team still have to work on that because there's no way we have been so well dealing with it and we have to concede goals like this back-to-back. Again, Do I want to blame Kivior? I don't want to blame him because eventually it was his first game. Again, I think he's been taken off later on in the game, and I think he did solidly. But the fact that again, the only thing that I would criticize was the sloppiness that we have from the game, which is certainly not very fun to watch, giving us a lot of flashback. Socrates, Mustafi, Ceballos, all these three just kind of, felt like all these players are kind of popping up in my head. And thank God, Sporting did not capitalize that at all. But defending, we have been sloppy. And again, second half, the first 10 minutes before we conceded the second goal, I thought we were brilliant. We had quite a lot of chances. Again, Fabio Vieira, Martinelli, Xhaka, they're all kind of swamping on the left-hand side. The right side of the pitch today was quiet pretty much towards the end when Smith Rowe came on. I felt like there was some sort of a bond between Fabio Vieira and Martinelli. I felt like both of them could work well together, and having Gabriel Jesus there soon enough, we might have that, brilliant trio, which we saw against Wolves. And yeah, there are a few chances where I thought we were doing very well. I think there was a through ball to Martinelli. He could have probably squared it back to Fabio Vieira, but he went for a goal, tried to chips it over the goalkeeper, Adan. But good save by the goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper today did have a very good game. Fabio Vieira trying to take a shot from the outside the box, but it went a few meters out wide. And actually speaking. And then, later on, of course, we have to concede a second goal. Poor defending in general. Everybody caught napping pretty much. A player went through pretty much the, I think who was it? Is it Sinchenko or Tomiyasu? The player took a shot. Good save by Matt Turner, but Saliba, Ben White, both of them caught napping right there, which is not good. I don't like that at all. So, yeah, second goal conceded, and today was the game where you can actually see more of an action from Matt Turner. Good shot stopper, as we all expected. Again, first goal could be him. Again, just miscommunication. It happened. It's fine. We moved on. And the second goal, I think he made a very good save, reactionary save, but again, it's just he reflected the ball. Wrong place at the wrong time. Actually, they were in between Ben White and Saliba, which is very funny because I just don't know how to say it, guys. It's just very funny in general. I don't know. I just don't know what happened, to be honest. And it was that little gap that finds the player who scored the goal. Right? If Matt Turner somehow pushed the ball away towards the left-hand side a little bit more or the right-hand side a little bit more, I don't think it would have been a goal anyway. But the reality was we conceded that goal. And, of course, Mikel Arteta was not happy. I think defensively, very sloppy. Today, we don't quite really want to blame the midfield, but defensively, we were not there. We were not match sharp at all. And moving on to a great play would have been goal of the season from Martinelli. A dribble past three players, go around the goalkeeper, but whoever, I forgot his name, St. Justice, I think his name, Justice. I'm sure I butcher his name, but that recovery run was very impressive. Stop Martinelli from that goal of the season, because honestly, this kind of reminds me of the Chelsea game that he scored, where he ran all the way from his own half to the other end, 1-on-1 with Kepa, and this goal was pretty much very similar. Instead of going around, arguably you can say that he should have probably taken a shot earlier on, but with his type of player, of course, he wants to go around a goalkeeper. But great defending by the Sporting defender, and it's just I just felt pity for him, to be honest. I think that would have been what a great goal. And later on, Zinchenko came off. Tomiyasu came on. I think he did well for the. I think Tomiyasu did well throughout the whole game. Certainly much better than the game he played against Bournemouth. He was on the left hand side. Remember, I think he created at least 2 chances. Fabio Vieira heads the ball. I think it tips it over the bar by the goalkeeper, and later on, out of nowhere, we score a known goal from I forgot his name. What's that Japanese player's name? Marita. That was probably one of the funniest goal I've seen. It's just out of nowhere, and Shaka trying to go for a cross. It was a poor cross to Fabio Vieira, but again, it was the wrong time at the wrong place right there, I think. And the ball just kind of slowly rolls into the back of the net, and we scored the second goal. We tied the game 2-2, and you know what? I think it would be great if we just kind of stayed that way, but I think we were looking for that goal. Thomas Partey coming on, Smith Rowe coming on, Gabriel coming on as well, which you gotta love it. Kivior did fine today. Gotta give a shout out to him as well. Well, it's not an easy job when you play your first game. First game for Arsenal. I think he did well. Gabriel coming on, even though producing quite a little bit of chaotic moment once in a while, but I think overall, I think he did control the game very well. Refereeing in this game was a joke. There were so many times where I wasn't quite sure if this German referee was qualified for today's game. He kind of reminds me one of the referees that referee one of my game recently, where he's not, when somebody fell down from a tackle, he's not going to blow the whistle, but when everybody was complaining about the foul, he would just blow the whistle in that second. I think that part was just funny because he's not making the game flow, and I felt like there was a delay in his decision making. I have no clue what happened, but that's the type of refereeing quality that we have in FIFA. But thank God no decision kind of went to our way. I think one of them in the first half where I think he gave a yellow card to Martinelli, which a very slight push to the keeper, try and knocks the ball away. I think it was Shaka, and I just don't know. The referee has been quite poor at times where I thought it was a foul. Well, we thought it was a foul, but he doesn't blow the whistle until 5-10 seconds later when we start complaining, and and the referee started gave a foul, which is, I don't really like that kind of a refereeing. If you want to be firm about it, just be firm. But if that is the type of quality that we have in the refereeing world, let it be. Eventually, they're going to solve the problem as being a referee. And throughout the last minute, I think Smith Rowe was as what I expected. I don't think he was kind of a risk taker. You can see that, instead of driving the ball forward, trying to be a little bit more risky. I don't think we have been doing that very well. Or we did fine, but Smith Rowe again, trying to get that match fitness back, playing as number 8 in that role. Fabio Vieira at one point playing as a false 9. I don't know how I feel about him compared to Cortez. It's just unfair match between those two. And at one point, we just kind of died down on attacks. Saka has been very quiet in this game, except the last 2 minutes where he took a shot from long range. That was the best display that he had in the game. But I think for the past 2 games, he has been relatively quite quiet. Am I worried about it? No, because he's still young, 21-year-old. There are certainly games like that at one point. And that's how the game ended. 2-2. Am I happy with the result? Yes, I'm happy. I'm actually happy about the result. Of course, ideally we want to win in this game. I even talked to my friend about this. If we win 1-0, it's fine. 2-0 is fine. Even a draw today would have been fine because, again, if we, in a way, I know it sounds bad, but if we kind of get away from the competition, for the good of getting the Premier League, then I'm all for it. But the reality is we drew this game 2-2, and it gives us a potential advantage. Morita and also Cortez have both been suspended for the next game, and both of them has been considered, crucial to Sporting, and which is going to be very interesting because I doubt. Well, both of them are kind of a controversial yellow card. I felt like it's like a 50-50 yellow card, but whatever the referee gave, we got to respect that, and it put us into a great advantage in general. So, yeah, and this game has been, it's chaotic, kind of relaxed watching this game, to be honest. I'm not as tense as the one, against Bournemouth or any of the Premier League game. But certainly this result could benefit us in the next game, or the next game, the next Europa League game. And hopefully by then, Jesus will be ready to come back on. I'm not expecting him to be back for Fulham's game, but the Fulham's game away at Craven Cottage is going to be it's going to be a tough one. Fulham this season has been great. Nobody was expecting them to be, at the top half of the table, and certainly they beat big teams in the past before. So I wouldn't be surprised that, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't a easy game at all. But again, I think right now we just have to rest all the players. Hopefully everybody was fine for the Fulham game, and I think that's all we have to focus on about. Not the Sporting game next week, but the Saturday game is going to be a huge, not Saturday, Sunday game is going to be a huge one, and I can't wait to watch that one. It's either I'll be crying in front of my mic on Sunday, or I'll be cheering in front of my mic on Sunday. So this is going to be an interesting game. Hopefully we are going to get a win, no matter how ugly the display could be against Fulham, a strong Fulham starting 11. But still, I would still want us to win this game, get a result, move on, to the Europa League and the next game. I forgot the next Premier League game that we're gonna play after the game against Fulham. I forgot which game we were playing. I think Leeds United at home. If I was correct or not, I think no. Actually, we were playing against Crystal Palace next Sunday. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Apparently next Sunday is the last game before the international break, and after that we'll be playing against Leeds United. So hopefully we're gonna get a result against Fulham, because we certainly do need to win in that game. Chelsea won the past 2 games, and I feel like their momentum's kind of back. Liverpool has become a threat right now, beating United 7-0. Nobody could have seen that coming. And, of course, the top half of the table is going to be a very interesting one. But what Arsenal have to do is to stick with our plan, stick with our job, stick with our objective is to win, to go game by game. And then, therefore, then we all feel fine about that. So thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this another podcast. And, for all the Arsenal fans out there, don't be way too upset with the result today. In a way, it's a blessing in disguise. It's a good game after all. We just need to focus on the Fulham game. So thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and have a wonderful day.